Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to today's podcast. We have a powerhouse sitting down at the table with me. That's Brad Title. He's the president of Gubagoo and vice president at Reynolds. We have a long history together as we've embraced digital retailing strategies over the last few years, pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID. Brad, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be back.
You know, when the news came out that Reynolds and Reynolds was buying Gubagoo, I was like, wow, that's a smart move. Gubagoo has been really a leader in conversational commerce and digital retailing. And so before we jump into what's specifically new and exciting from your perspective, I'm sure dealers who are listening to today's podcast want to know, how's the partnership evolving and how are you seeing this partnership transform Reynolds and Reynolds?
Great question. So the partnership is fantastic. The vision I had going into the acquisition and coming off our first year anniversary with being a part of Reynolds, it's actually better than I even envisioned. The amount of subject matter experience and knowledge that Reynolds possesses and the assets that they possess that operate the behind the scenes functionality of the dealerships is empowering us to be able to complete that true end-to-end story that we've been talking about for the last year of a retail anywhere experience. Being able to take the customer from online to in-store or contract remotely, remain compliant, and being able to submit contracts for funding and within certain brands have deals funded within 40 minutes rather than 30, 40 days. I mean, these are things that we never dreamed of being able to do as far as the online retailing piece that only being a part of Reynolds we could. And, as I've said before, Tommy, our chairman and CEO, and Chris Walsh, our president, they back the vision and they are working diligently with us to deliver from CRM to retention to retailing to full integration into the DMS. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, it's a great place to be, especially in these times where we can reinvent the space and modernize the next generation of retail.
Well, what's exciting to me is that digital retailing was one step, which was bringing numbers that were once only shown inside the four walls of the F&I office online. But as the digital retailing software really came to be something that every dealer knows that they need, the integration with the DMS becomes so critical. And then more importantly, when somebody goes from online in the store, which I've been calling connected retailing, they want to see that same experience, those same desking tools, the same, payment look and feel that they saw online. So when you think about your vision for retail anywhere, would it match my vision that dealers need to show the same look and feel online and in the stores? Is that what Gubagoo/Reynolds dealers can have today?
That's exactly what we are addressing in the market. We are trying to unify all the different systems into one product with a single sign-on and be able to deliver the same experience online in store. When you go from online to in store, there's different stages of the buying experience. Some people might have completed the credit app online. Others may have not even completed the trade evaluation to find out what the payoff is. So being able to pick up where they left off in the store is incredibly important. Not having to re-enter the data back into a CRM tool to continue where you left off or into the DMS is critically important to maintain the time saved online in store, and being able to present it in front of them with you rather than behind the screen is about as important as it gets, because you can handle the customer from a desking, from a payment to F&I on the lot, in the showroom, or even on their driveway when you're delivering a vehicle. So that unified look is extremely important, and having that vertical integration is critical.
Brad, what I look back at my writings over the last few years, and I think up until recently, when I published that article on LinkedIn saying, let's stop calling it digital retailing, we need to move to connected retailing. What I kind of missed was that important step. And before the Reynolds merger, exactly, it was a weakness of Gubagoo, was that Gubagoo created an amazing workflow online, but when they came in, maybe they were using eLead desking or Promax or something else that looked either antiquated, or different. And I think we were so focused on making sure the numbers were accurate online, we forgot that if the person came in the store and nothing looked the same, it was kind of a feeling of breaking trust. Would you agree with me that by having a connected retail experience, not only is trust maintained, but I have to assume that the sales process just goes smoother because they don't have their guard up when they literally look and feel can pick up where they left off, not on a different tool.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. We were always chasing the penny perfect calculation. But when the consumer comes into the store, in many cases, you might have to go back and repencil the deal. You might have to adjust the offer. To be able to use the same tool they were using online the night before creates a level of trust and comfort. The fact that you're able to, when calculating a payment, be able to know what your payoff is, so that when they come into the store, you don't put yourself in a position where you create distrust by not being able to represent the payment they saw online. It's very important. And being able to continue where you left off and in the showroom, continue with the same tools. That's one of our hyper focuses around expanding the showroom experience so that it can be a fast, fun, and easy buying experience. And it can also build trust rather than put the dealership in a negative position to starting with a customer in the showroom when the payment wasn't what they saw online. So it's absolutely critical, especially with the large percentage of people that start online or finish in the store.
Well, one of the things that I want dealers to know, maybe they don't know it, but on September 4th, Automotive News did a breakthrough article entitled "Click Lane Yields Strong F&I Profits," basically saying that Asbury averages $2,162 in auto finance and insurance profit, so back-end deals, and basically looking at the performance of their Click Lane, that's the Asbury's branded retail experience, talking about they're blowing through $1 billion in revenue. They're projecting 2.2 by the end of 2023. And behind the scenes, we know that that's powered by Gubagoo and Reynolds DMS. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not powered by the DMS. It's powered by the retail platform GDR from Gubagoo.
Right.
Currently. And that article was a wonderful social proof statement for Gubagoo, but it's people, process, and technology. And David Holt and his team from Iran down they're just outstanding. They have very clear process of how to utilize the technology. Their follow-up is unprecedented, and they're focused. And so with all of those attributes behind the system, it doesn't surprise me they're hyper focused on this.
Well, and here's the key. It shows that the Gubagoo virtual retailing platform is absolutely scaling and customizable to allow dealers to exceed what they thought was previously unattainable if they shifted away from a traditional F&I process. So this is exciting. So let's talk about what's going on in the Gubagoo lab. What is something that we might be hearing about at the Modern Retailing Conference coming up in November in Palm Beach, or NADA? What's cooking in your kitchen?
Another wonderful question. So we have a lot of things happening at once. Most recent and most notable, I would say, we just did our first launch of F&I 2.0, which we're very excited about because it plays a part in our virtual retailing online. And what it essentially is it's a behavioral-based F&I menu whereby dealers can take different F&I products, bundle them together, and based on the behavior of the customer online and the answers to certain questions that are asked, we now can generate a dynamic F&I menu tailored to that consumer specifically. And what's extremely exciting about this platform is that it's used online in our retail tools. It can be used in the showroom as a standalone product in the coming future for F&I. Along with that tool, we have also enhanced what we call Offer Builder, which is essentially virtual desking. So we now have the ability to pencil a deal, update an offer, push it back to the customer through the social channels or through chat, or be able to deal with the customer in person in the showroom floor and be able to address the payment and then take them right into the F&I component and then move over to the credit stage. So being able to have some standalone tools that allow the dealer to desk deals and virtually publish the payments and be able to use this dynamic F&I menu are standalone tools that will be available in the coming months, and as well built right into our retailing platform. So, we're really focused on covering the friction points that occur in a dealership when it comes to the consumer journey and experience, and really trying to enhance that experience so that it is, again, vertically integrated and streamlined so that it really can be fast, fun, and easy. You'll hear me say this often. You started online, you went halfway through the process, showed up in the showroom, you're on a tablet, you continue right where you left off on the same screen you're familiar with, and you can run the entire experience and process in the showroom, on the lot, basically anywhere, and be able to continue where you left off so that it is fast, fun, and easy. And, that is what we are focused on within the lab. So, there's a lot of these new technologies that are stepping into different areas of our space. We're trying to unify it and integrate them. Dealers are using a lot of different applications. So one of the other features that you're going to be hearing about is our multi-factor authentication so that you don't need multiple passwords for multiple systems. We now, within the Reynolds ecosystem, touch from our GLive platform and retailing platform into CRM, which is Focus, DMS, the Era platform, DocuPad, which is the F&I platform, and be able to connect through to the DealSign platform that allows you to fund the contract, have e-signatures on the one-span contracts, which is completely compliant and allows for contracts to be funded faster. So, we're focused on these attributes to be able to improve the dealer's experience, become more centric to the dealer's needs, while removing the friction points that they deal with on a daily basis. E-contracting is a great example of a hyper focus for us that is integrated into the online retailing. It will support retail deliveries and contracting remotely, along with, like I said, the multi-factor authentication capability, the expanding of the in-store experience so that the same experience online can be utilized in the store so it's familiar, and delivering the tools that need to be integrated into these functions so that you can repencil payments if you need to, generate on the fly F&I products in a menu format that the consumer can pick, point, and click from, to be able to just continue delivering on the experience. Because, from online to in-store to remote, connecting to the DMS, sharing information between CRM, DMS, and the GLive platform, not only is it very sophisticated and intelligent, but putting these pieces together is what paves the way for a smooth buying experience.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage dealers to make some time during their visit at the Modern Retailing Conference to stop by the Gubagoo booth and have them show you what I saw was a compelling reason, a real compelling reason, even to switch your CRM. If you're a Reynolds DMS customer and with the Focus CRM and with the GLive platform, I saw some things that were so time-saving, so clean. That single source of truth lack of duplication and the speed at which your employees can serve. Now, typically, I've never talked about Reynolds Focus CRM. It just hasn't been on my radar because pretty much it was just sold exclusively for people who had the Reynolds DMS. I think that there's a new case for all the Reynolds DMS customers to make a hard look at one unified platform. And that brings me up to a future state question, Brad. The more and more I see what you're doing in the variable ops side, makes me impatient to change the service experience. These online service schedules are horrible. People are trying to book service, getting in phone tree hell. Do you envision the G Live platform being fully integrated into the fixed ops side of the business, so a single point of contact can branch in either way and get that same wow experience?
Wonderful question. So this is a lot of vision and future stuff that we're working on or beginning within the lab. So one of the things that we're hyper focused on when it comes to the fixed ops side is being able to do a better job of capturing the customer information, scheduling the appointment through the tool, and being able to actually book the appointment on the consumer's calendar for a reminder of the day of their appointment. So we got a lot of focus around that with our live play capability, scheduling and connecting the customer, integrating that directly into our G Live mobile app, so that whether you field the call and you can book the appointment for the customer, or they click on a CT on a website, or you're handling it through a conversation in a chat, you'll be able to support the customer the same way. And then some of the other things that we're putting focus around is in the service department, because being a part of Reynolds, where you can now notify the customer when your repair is ready or be able to pay your repair before you get there, is to introduce some additional services around texting that helps the technicians communicate with the consumer as well as the dealer and connecting with the consumer from the service side. So there is a lot of focus coming around fixed operations with regards to the omni-channel platform, the service scheduling, and a lot of new future plans for text capabilities.
Well, thank you for giving us a little insight to that, because I think that's going to really differentiate the dealer's local experience from other competitors. Brad, a year ago, for the first time at one of our conferences, Chris Walsh came. Chris is the president of Reynolds & Reynolds, and came on the main stage with me, talked about the acquisition of your company, and talked about a new vision for Reynolds, more customer focused, simpler contracts, more value add. A year later, and I'm seeing a change, in a sense, a new blue, and maybe new blue, even powered by Gubagoo. It could even be poetic like that. But here we are a year later. I'm hearing great things from your customers. I'm hearing a renewed momentum of choosing Reynolds DMS and its suite of solutions. Got to be a pretty exciting time to be part of this really reinvigorated Reynolds & Reynolds team.
It is. I mean, I couldn't be more happy with the decision to become part of Reynolds, for the state of our future technology, vision, and plans. Feels like to me Reynolds is reinventing itself as it continues to evolve. It's clearly becoming a much more customer-centric or dealer-centric organization that wants to serve the customers, deliver best-in-class tech with results. I mean, Reynolds, as I've come to learn, is a real focused organization on performance, not just the look and feel, and being able to execute and do it on a repeatable and scalable basis. And they are focused on all of these moving parts, and also in reinventing the business and the industry as dealers' business needs are changing, and they recognize it, and they're excited about it. It feels really exciting to be here. Like I said, it's been our first year, and we've accomplished so much that in 12 months, that I don't think I've been more excited about this NADA and all the releases and all the true capabilities that we can bring to really help inspire dealers' business and help drive their thought leadership and future-proof their business.
Well, I have to give my hats off to Chris Walsh. Everything he said 1 year ago on the main stage, he's been delivering on. I was able to sit down with him again recently, and same focus as you mentioned, creating a truly integrated end-to-end retail platform. Obviously, with some newcomers into the marketplace, new opportunity shifts in ownership in some of the other DMS platforms, really gives Reynolds a pretty straight runway to finally connect all the pieces together and create that unified consumer experience. That's what the OEMs are looking for, an end-to-end retailing platform that gives the consumer a better experience, give the OEM better insights into the customer journey, and still while remaining flexible to the individual needs of dealers, just like you've demonstrated with ClickLane, the Asbury retailing sales process. Brad, if somebody wanted to get the latest demo of Gubagoo or the integration of Gubagoo with Reynolds CRM, DMS, what's the best way for them to set up that demo?
So they can go to Gubagoo.com and request a demo. If they're a Reynolds dealer, they can contact their dealer specialist or their support people. But Gubagoo.com definitely is the fastest way to connect. We know how to bring the right people to the call for these types of conversations.
Great. Well, for the dealers who are listening to today's conversation, this is another reason why you should book your tickets to the Modern Retailing Conference in Palm Beach, November 13th, 14th, and 15th. The team from Reynolds and Gubagoo will be there in full force, showing their latest integrations and innovations to create the platform that dealers need for modern retailing. So get your tickets. The conference will sell out. Don't wait to the last minute. Go to modernretailingconference.com and book your tickets today. And if this is the first time you're listening to one of my podcasts, you should know that I have dozens of interviews with industry leaders, disruptors, and visionaries, just like Brad Teitel and his team, that caught the attention of one of the largest companies in automotive retail to create the future of automotive retailing. So whether you go to the Apple Podcast channel, Google Play, you can go to SoundCloud, or you can go to brianpash.libsyn, that's LIBSYN.com, for the full library. Brad, thank you so much for being on the show today. And for everyone who's listening, I appreciate your time. Take action. Get ready for a great conference in November. And I'll catch you next time on another podcast interview.